Hey guys, it's for real, and today we'll be looking at the STRV. Now, the STRV is a tier 10 Swedish tank destroyer, and its accuracy, as you well know, it's out of this world. And the thing that separates the STRV from its predecessors is that it actually has pretty good armor, really solid armor, I'd say, which does allow it to play aggressively, which I find it's extremely comforting because I tend to be extremely aggressive with my tank, regardless of type, or anything. And on this battle, however, you're going to see a mixture of both, and you're going to see quite a cracker of a battle: high damage, high everything, bad shots as well, as you can see. But besides from that, the variety of this battle is basically the whole package, and it shows you what the tank can do, not just sniping, but also getting in the face of your opponent, DPM the living crap out of him, and etc. So, talking about the match itself, we're on a highway, and I usually tend to go in the city with any vehicle, except for this TD, because its potential output is severely limited in that specific area. So I decided this one time to opt for the field and try to progress my way to their base slowly by supporting my allies. And another thing the STRV has, which is fantastic, is its camo rating, which is amazing. And if you put a low exhaust, it can reach like above 40, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me if I'm wrong. And my first shot goes into VLC. This tank has absurd shell velocity and accuracy, and it really is probably the best sniper of any tank. And as you can see, since the Object 430 and the Leo cannot really be helped, I'm gonna try and support VLC. And it's really crucial that when you're in your TTs, you're really aware, attentive of your surroundings and what your spotters are doing, and basically all those things above. And I saw VLC was going to go down for the spot, so I knew I might be able to put a couple of shots in for him. But however, I quickly noticed that with 322 and the Leopard were being killed, so I knew I had to fall back, because otherwise I'd get flanked, and that's not what we want in the STRV. The STRV has really good traverse and everything, but when in siege mode, it can't do anything. Especially also when it gets surrounded, there's nothing you can do about it. We've all been there. We know how rough it gets. So I take out a 430 focus fire, and I want to help out our ELC, and that is because he's our spotter. He's doing a lot of good things for the team. He's not our usual TD camper. I misjudged the STB's pathway, but it doesn't happen again, and we do manage to kill the list, which is still something. And I'm going to try to put one more shot in the STB. It does work out. Our T30 is going to be a spotter or something like that. And what I'm going to do now is try and kill out the Leo. I'm going to put one quick shot in, and I'm going to quickly rotate my tank to try and absorb any damage if it comes from the base. The STB unfortunately hits me. And what I'm now planning on is killing the Leo. Killing the Leo will allow us to free this flank, and it does happen, which is fantastic. If a T30 was reliably spawning the STB, I would be going in A1 in most bush line to try and take the STB out. However, what I do notice on the map is that the city has fallen, and when the city falls, what the enemies tend to do is just push into the K line, from a K8 all the way to J4, to get under the line of fire, of the Lansen. But since we have a T95 and standard B, that does mean that we're gonna have a consistent spot for a substantial amount of time. And this for STRV is literally the dream scenario. Now, the reason why I'm firing gold here is not because of shell velocity, because the regular shells actually have higher velocity. I'm doing this for the penetration because APCR does lose substantial amounts of penetrations. And one other thing is that I want to maximize the damage here, so that when they do come up, we can actually fight them off. So because if they have too much HP, no matter how much DPM you have, you won't be able to kill them off. I'm shooting here the type. Is a one-shot now. I left the low way on a one-shot because that's something that the Scorpion can handle as well. I want to focus out, or the T95 exactly, on the standard Bs because we're not dead yet. I'm trying to focus out as much as possible on the heavier tanks. Gonna put one more nice shot into the Jag, which leaves him on a 2-shot for me, and a 2-shot for standard B if he gets lucky. Maybe one more, that would be amazing. The shell does disappear, so he's a one-shot. There's a car, and we're gonna take him out real quick. Perfect. And yeah, what else can we say? This is just a dream scenario, the dream scenario for the STRV. Farming on long range, in the open. Like, there's no doubt, like, the STRV is really versatile in many areas, but this is probably the best scenario where the STRV farms a lot of damage, is not spotted, and the accuracy just allows it to do, you know, 9 out of 10 shots on long range. So anyways, what's the plan here? We're 11 to 13, 4 tanks for them, 2 for us. Most of the HP is on me, of course. I actually didn't even check if the HP amount of Scorpion, but looks of it, he's actually quite healthy as well. But their enemy tanks, they have 2 one-shots. There's a Tortoise which only took 1, and the STRV, as I would call it, is full HP. He hasn't even been spotted, but he has a kill, so he's definitely not AFK. So what's the plan here? What I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna go up north, because I want to take out the Tortoise, eliminate the flanking opportunities. The STRV actually shows up, and he actually makes a killer mistakes. Instead of trying to out-rotate me, you know, get my flank, he just rams me. And he's not gonna pen me any time of the day, especially if he auto-aims. I can auto-aim because he's an auto-pen. So we did take him out without taking... Oh, well, we did take 100 damage on the ram, which is unfortunate, but it is what it is. And we did reduce it to a much more winnable situation. And what I'm gonna do now is gonna try and take out the type. But Scorpion does manage to spot him out, which is fantastic. However, he does go down, which leaves me in a 1v3. And I'd still argue that I have a good chance of winning, because I do have a substantial amount of HP, and the map terrain does allow me to, you know, to outspot him and all of that, get him in an awkward position, especially if the Tortoise wasn't around to spot me like that. And this is the battle which shows you that the STRV can actually work it at close range. And the type gives me a shot. I'm in a complete crossfire, and in this situation you don't focus the tank behind you, you focus the Tortoise in this scenario because it has a much higher DPM, and if I turned around I'd be absolutely slaughtered. And as you can see, this does leave me on a one-shot, but I do manage to pull it off. And this is what the tank has to offer, you know. Even a big DPM go live, such as Tortoise can compete with the STRV in the right scenarios. And it also shows you how to probably engage opponents on various flanks. You focus one out, the one which is the most threatening, usually. In this case, it was definitely the Tortoise. And this leaves me in a 1v1. And now you're going to see why the thumbnail is called the biggest throw in history. Because... you know, everything is in my favor as long as I get the correct angle and the Jack Panzer is not staring at me, you know. And I'm going in. I know a good tracking shot and the damaging shot is the end. I'm trying to spot him. I can't spot him. I'm going low because I think he's behind the barn, you know. And I'm going, and I just, you know, I was just going. I didn't even realize it was 10 seconds. And I was like, okay, we need to close it up. But I'm still not spotting him. And it turns out he was in the... I think he was in the barn right in the front of me. I don't even spot him, I think. Yeah, he was right there, in the worst possible position. Oh my god. And yeah, that's the biggest throw ever. Yeah, pretty embarrassing actually. But you know, the game itself, the battle itself, I think it was fantastic. The way I played the STRV and everything really showed you how to handle, you know, multiple fronts. And I ended up doing 9k damage, which is fantastic. So anyways guys, I hope you enjoyed it, and take care.